Hey gang, welcome back to Off Topic, where we bring you real teen voices and real teen stories. And the goal of Off Topic is to redefine teens, and by doing that, we bring out really amazing people on our show. So for today, I have the really amazing Alec with me. Alec, you're doing really amazing stuff, I must admit. You're part of Student Council Association, you're secretary. You're head of a lot of amazing clubs, including History and Spanish Club, right?
Yeah, well, I'm a member of Spanish Club, and then I'm the president of the Hispanic and Latino Student Union.
Awesome.
Which
That's
is
just
new
awesome.
this year.
Wow. Okay, congrats. Congrats on that. And you also are part of the theater community.
Yes.
Too.
I am an avid actor. I love doing all sorts of things, plays, films. I'm doing the musical right now. She Loves Me. You should all come see it.
Okay, we will arrive. We'll spawn in. And I heard a little birdie told me that you're in a short film
Yes.
for the film festival.
Yes, we're
and
filming that right now.
Freebird
ooh,
is
can't
the
wait.
name. Yeah. I
But-
would
yes.
love to tell you when that comes out, but I actually do not know. So, Jasmine Coates or Sammy Weinstein have the information about that.
Okay. Well, I just want to first off start with how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty great, thank you. I'm really glad you're here with me today, and that you don't mind dropping some lore about how this all came to be. There are a lot of things going on. Started 2025, of course, and so how's your year?
Good. Honestly, so far not so different from the end of 2024. Now, though, they're talking to us about junior year in college and all that jazz, so that's a little stressful. Today in pre-calc, they
Yes.
struck fear of God into us. They were like, oh, if you have a A minus right now in pre-calc, then in AB, that's probably going to be like a B plus, and then in BC, that's going to be like a C. So, yeah, that was exciting.
Oh, okay. Some threat action.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm sensing you're nervous.
A little bit, but I have spring break to relax and decompress, and then I can come back. It's just right now is the most hectic time of year because
Right.
all the classes try and squeeze in their last things before spring break.
Right, that's real. It's just common for teachers to bring in a lot of assignments. And speaking of which, with all the leadership positions you are in right now, what are some challenges with that when balancing schoolwork, but also balancing your theater life, being a secretary? I mean,
Yeah.
Well, I think that's definitely hard, especially at the beginning. When, at the beginning of any year, coming to find a new rhythm is always difficult. But I think as time goes on, you just sort of fall into a natural rhythm of things. You just kind of have to trust that you'll be able to get everything done in time. It definitely takes some sacrifices. I've lost a lot of free time this year. I don't think I'd have it any other way. It's always more exciting to be a part of a lot of different dynamic things than to just be sitting at home,
right.
not really doing anything.
That's a good point. I really liked what you said there. So that's how you balance it. And you said sacrificing your free time. I know you said it's worth it because of what you're doing with helping out in the community.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. You just have to, I think, at some point accept it. I mean, that's not to say that you should just throw all your free time to the
Right.
wind. You still need
Right.
time to decompress and self-care and all that. But it's definitely a step up from last year, and I'm sure next year, of course, is also going to be a step up.
yes, you said self-care. So when you do have those times, though, when you get to relax, when you get to just be Alec, not student council Alec, not, club leader Alec, what do you do?
That's a good question. In the springtime, I really like to go on bike rides, actually.
Oh.
That's my hidden hobby.
Really?
Yeah, it's just really nice to get outside and pedal your cares away, I guess. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
and then I spend time with my brother and my parents, and I like to read too.
It's a good way
I
to
love
decompress.
reading. What's your favorite genre? I know you're about to say something, but I really want to know.
So recently I've gotten into a lot of mystery, actually.
Oh.
So I love romance, love mystery, I love action.
Sorry, I love romance too.
I don't read that much romance though.
Okay.
Honestly, historical romance is kind of.
Okay, so Bridgerton.
No, I've not read Bridgerton. My mom though tells me some things about that, but no, I've not seen Bridgerton or read it. There was a really good one I read. Agency for Scandal, actually. was very nice. Highly recommend it. There's a sequel that I haven't gotten around to reading,
Oh,
though.
okay. I'll put that on my list. Thank you. Mystery. What are some mystery books you're reading?
Oh, right now I'm really into Agatha Christie and Sherlock Holmes.
Oh.
So
Like classic mystery. Really love Agatha Christie. The Big Four is my favorite of her books by far. Highly recommend it.
What do you like so much about him?
Well, it's interesting. Oh, yeah, here. Okay, suit up.
Okay, let me get comfortable. Okay.
I love the characters, I
Right.
think, and the whole time period is very interesting, and as I said, the characters are super fascinating. Poirot is super dynamic, charismatic. I think it's always fun to see him doing things. I love Hastings, who's like his assistant. He's really interesting, and I think together they have a very good dynamic. And even though I'm actually terrible at guessing who did it, like I've never gotten it a single time, it's still fun to see all the different creative ways that, they decided that Miss Christie decided that this murder could have taken place. And it's fun to see all the twists and turns that happen along the way and all the different choices that the characters make that affect it.
Yeah. I like that you said you like mystery. I try to get into mystery, and like how you said that you can't predict whether or not. For me, that's the opposite.
Oh, really?
Because I like watching. I can't tell if this would count, like those murder investigation shows.
Oh, yeah.
Like Criminal Minds,
Yeah.
for instance.
Is that true crime?
Yeah, true crime-ish shows. Like I can't, because of that. I can like always sort of predict what's going on based on that. But
I can't
No.
stand true crime. Like anything that's that's actually a crime that's taken place just like scares the heebie-jeebies out of me. So I keep to fictional crime.
No, I appreciate that because my mom is obsessed with true crime, and I would just like go downstairs and like all I hear is those narrators like in those documentaries. They're like,
yeah.
and then she got slaughtered,
Yeah.
and they all died. They killed her dog. Everyone's dead. Like I'm just like it's fine.
And then they go into like such graphic detail. It's
They
like they
do.
found her mutilated body alone on the side of the road, missing 3 limbs. Like,
You need that detail.
Like it's like Monday, like morning, like
no, and then like I feel like people listen to true crime, then like go around spouting true crime facts, and they're like, "Oh, did you know that the human body is capable of withstanding like X amount of blunt trauma?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't know that. I didn't need to."
Like maybe you're capable of a therapist appointment. Like since that's low key worrisome, I'm like, no. I like fictional. You said you liked romance. I love romance. I like the broad spectrum romance, like more so the fantasy side,
Oh.
like with elves and the dragons. Like I read Fourth Wing.
Oh, I've
last summer.
heard. I've actually been instructed by my friends to never read that book.
Not because it's bad, just because it has like I'm here and the things are up here.
So,
Well, I think it's a pretty good book. If you're worried about like you being here and the things being up here, I would recommend. Her name's Jennifer L. Ermintrout.
Okay.
The book is called Storm of Fury. It's actually pretty chill. So like if you're here, I think the book for you will be like
That's
right
good.
here. Like
That's
it's
good.
like mild violence. Like the romance is not like in your face. It's a subplot.
The violence is fine. I like the romance, but then sometimes they'll get like very descriptive with the romance, and that's not necessarily bad. But like you know.
Yeah,
You know, yeah.
we
Everyone
know.
knows. The viewers at
Everyone
home know.
knows. The off-topicans know.
Yeah.
They know. Okay, so we let's rewind. I love this conversation we'll have, but let's rewind. Let's go back to your leadership. I love how
Okay.
we just go from the most like
It's always fun though.
yeah.
You never know where a conversation goes.
So what drew you to leadership? Since I remember, this is going to sound creepy. It's not creepy, but I remember. I think like during like one of our ceremonies or something, you're like 8th grade. Like you're an ambassador.
8th, right? Maybe.
Yeah, school
Something
school day. Yes, and you spoke, and I remember the first thing you said was greetings and salutations.
That's my line, though.
I'm not. So I just want to know, like, greetings and salutations. So you started your leadership all the way in 8th grade. Like, so like, what was the origin story? Like, who put you?
I don't
like,
know. It's
made you
just
so
like,
inspired.
I think
I like to help out. So then when people are like, "Oh, do you want to do X or do you want to do Z?" and I was like, "Yeah, sure, that sounds fun." And I think it's always fun to try new things too and to broaden your horizons. So that led me to be an ambassador for the middle school, and then that sort of just opened more doors and led to more things. And so then the next thing I know, I'm here.
Yeah, awesome. So what was the process like? Since you said you love like helping people,
Yeah.
so how did you get yourself out there in the community? Like, hey, I'm here.
That's
I wanna do
actually a
this.
good question.
Yes.
I would say just making your willingness known. and like showing excitement about a lot of things and showing passion, because then that shows the people, oh, this person one day might want to do something more with this. And then, so as long as you're showing your passion, then I think that really shows people that you have the ability and the drive to do something more, and then I think that makes them consider you for some leadership positions.
I like that advice, since I remember I tried to apply to leadership in middle school. Like, I made the posters and everything, so...
They actually banned posters while we were there.
Wait, really?
They said no campaigning.
Actually, how did we run? Well, okay, middle school, I was also an SCA, but that was like a lot more chill, because you didn't have to run. Basically, everyone got in, and we just like met at lunch every Wednesday in Miss Nicely's room to talk about stuff.
So I'm assuming middle school SCA is different from now.
Oh yeah. Now, I mean, we're still not supposed to have posters and everything. They want the only exposure that everyone has to these candidates to be during their speeches, which is, you know, like sort of fair, because it shouldn't be that one person just campaigns a lot more because they might have a lot more free time or a lot more friends. So I think it's pretty fair. Yes, but they said no campaigning. So now it's just speeches.
So yeah, so you put yourself out there for your speech, and I love that. So did you have like a person as your inspiration, like a parent or like a motivational speaker you came across on YouTube or something that put you like made you interested in like joining SCA and leadership? Since middle school, that's so young to be so like, you know.
Well, I've always loved history ever since I was like 5 years old, I think, and my grandma got me a book called When on Earth, and it's just like a whole history book for children, and I loved it. So ever since then, I've loved history, and I feel like as a student of history, you can always see that a lot of the people who make history and who are in those books, they're, you know, leaders of some kind, and they do things for their community. Whether it be bad or good, I'd like to hope that I'm a good leader.
I think you're a good leader. I think you're a good leader.
But it's always about how, you know, leadership and, you know, yeah, I'd say a lot of historical figures, not any like one in particular.
Right, just
like overall, seeing the sort of common theme between all those figures was leadership, and so I think that drew me into it.
Oh, I like that you said that. It's true. Like, with historical leaders, you really pick up on what they say and like their leadership. Okay, so I appreciate that. And that's just really interesting to say that, and it made me also think about, so what has been some of the like awards with your leadership or with what you're doing in student council? And when I say rewards, I'm thinking like, how are you impacting the community? Like, how you believe you're impacting the community and or inspiring others?
Well, although every once in a while we might have a pretty boring town meeting presentation, I would like to think that we have a net positive community, you know, support and outreach and all that. So like for SEA, for example, we plan the dances, and we have for the sophomores something exciting coming up. I can't talk about it.
Oh, it's classified.
Yeah, very classified. Because we are trying really hard to get it done, and if it doesn't get off the ground, though, we didn't want to get everyone's hopes up. But it'll be fun. Sadly, only for sophomores. I'm sorry.
Okay,
But,
it's okay. I'll recover.
Mm-hmm.
I'll recover.
We'll show you all the photos.
Okay, thank
It'll be
you.
very fun.
You know, I love my lore. That's why I created this entire podcast. I just want to yap about lore. I love it. Okay.
Yeah, so the rewards, I think, are just impacting your community in a positive way, because I think being a part of a community is a really special thing, and it's great to be able to sort of give back. Like, I know my community of the Bleep school, classified, can't say, the Bleep.
You know, this is where
I was like, okay, I'm letting you cook. I'm letting you cook. Let him cook.
I feel like they've given me a lot of support, and I really feel like I found a home in this community, and so I'd like to give back to it too.
Oh, I love that. I appreciate that. This community did give me a home too, and that's what I love. Like, one of the things, I'm trying not to turn this into school propaganda, but I'm just saying.
I would be like, yeah, not a propagandist here, but school, très bien. The blank school, very good.
It's very good. Please come here.
I actually talked about the blank school today on Revisit Day.
Oh my God, how was that?
That was good. I got to talk about the classics department, and I wrote a whole speech. Someone said I should write it in Latin, and I said, no, thank you. First of all, that would take me ages. Second of all, no one would understand it. They'd probably think that I'm, like, pulling out some ancient.
Casting a spell.
Something like that, yeah.
Casting a spell on all the audience members so they can attend our school.
I would never do that. Don't worry. Yeah, I think they should come of their own volition. It's a beautiful school as it is. I don't need to do anything extra.
Was that nerve-wracking for you? I mean, you're used to doing speeches, but I'm sure like the same jitters.
It's always nerve.
Nerve-wracking. The most nerve-wracking was actually poetry out loud last year. I actually, I see, you have some thoughts of this.
Oh, okay, I want to hear more about this.
I was like, not last, but not first in the whole arrangement of things.
Okay.
No, that's the worst. Like, I'd rather be first and get it over with.
Okay.
Last is also, actually, last would be the worst, I think. But the closer to the end, because then I was worried I'd forget my poem. So I was, like, repeating it to myself over and over, and then as I walked onto that stage, I realized that I'd actually forgotten the name of my poem. So I stood there for what felt like 5 minutes, being like, hello, my name is Alec Sweet, and I will be performing the poem that is titled... And then I just kind of made up a name that sounded right. So that was pretty frightening. But I think the more practice that you get with public speaking and with, doing things in public, the easier it gets. Like, today I was pretty nervous, but definitely a lot less so than I've been in the past. So I think, hopefully, it gets easier every time.
I'm sure it will. And going back to your poetry out loud, that's just, I feel like it's a biblically accurate moment. If my fellow viewers, if you know about poetry out loud, it's just some schools require that people perform a poem from the Poetry Out Loud website. That can be nerve-wracking.
I mean, I love the Poetry Out Loud website. They have a great selection of poems.
Yeah.
But then there's also some poems that are not on the website that I really would have loved to do.
That's an issue too. But about the Poetry Out Loud thing, and was this for the school?
Yeah, this was for the school.
Okay. Oh, when was this?
This was last year.
Was I there?
I think you were.
I was.
You were there because I thought you won. You won last year, didn't you? No. You got to finals, and I remember you did a really great job. And I was like, oh wow.
Oh, well, first off, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I unfortunately don't remember that. There's this thing my memory does where every, the moment, midnight. Yeah, the moment midnight.
It's like day to day.
Yeah, the moment midnight strikes, after a year, I'm going to forget everything. So, once again, I appreciate the accolade. But I have no idea what you're talking about, but thank you so much.
That's actually how I first, that was the first time I heard about you. I was like, wow. So now in my head, you're kind of like the great poetic orator.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Wow. The first meeting stories, that's the ironic, the lore. Hey, look at you. Okay, so we're no, I don't want to get negative. I don't want to say what was the worst experience, but what are some challenges? Since I know you're secretary, okay, first off, what do you do as secretary?
That's a really great question.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I feel like, honestly, secretary does not do that much more than, your average rep. I just create the meeting agendas, and every Thursday during break, we have an officer meeting that we all go to, but it's nothing terrible. Honestly, none of, the SEA roles are greatly more difficult than any prior SEA role. A rep only does a little bit less than a secretary does.
Okay. All right, thank you so much for the definition. Now that I can really ask you this question for real okay. So what are some challenges maybe with being a secretary or your clubs, theater community, since you're just involved in a lot in the best way possible? What are some some challenges?
I think, as I said earlier, just finding time to do everything is a challenge. And sometimes I feel like I have a perpetual stress just being carried with me.
No,
that sounds sad. But
no, I relate to that.
But I feel like at the end of the day, though, as I said earlier, I really wouldn't have it any other way, for better, for worse. But definitely time. You have to make sacrifices. Sometimes I feel like I might have to push back another activity, and then I feel bad because I double booked myself or something. So I always feel bad when I have to do that. Or sometimes I'll have to turn down something like let's say my friends are having a hangout, right? I mean, yeah, it's fine. It's fine though, because every Sunday I get to see my friends because we go ice skating.
Oh, that's so cute. Wait, where do you guys go?
Skate Quest, which is in Reston, I want to say.
Yeah,
I've never gone ice skating before.
Oh, you should. I didn't know how to ice skate at all, and then apparently, believe it or not, a year of ice skating every Sunday actually does wonders for your ability.
Oh, okay. I've been scared because of the blades and I tried roller skating. It was not the best experience.
I feel like roller skating is harder than ice skating.
What?
Because ice skating can always just I I don't know. It's like,
What do you mean?
I don't know.
I'm on ice. One is
Yeah.
I'm on the ground. The other is I'm on ice.
being on the ground feels worse than being on ice. Like being on ice, I can always get off. Being on the ground,
There's nowhere
no
else to
escape.
go. There's just like hope for your life.
Yeah.
Okay, do you like do tricks?
no, no. Right now, my trick is not falling down.
That's
So-
impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll need to learn how to ice skate, I guess. That'll be I like that. So, basically in summary with your challenges, it's just
Very long.
so but that's the best way to answer the question. That's how podcasts work. You ask one question and you get
Get a whole story, all the lore.
lore.
That's like I'm gonna have a lore count of like how many times I say.
No, we should during like post editing. I should just
Like a little
more
box up in the
little
corner.
box like cinema sins. You know cinema sins?
Yeah.
When they have like the like bing,
mhm.
bing, like that. We'll do that when I'll add that. Okay. So basically, what I'm hearing. I mean, I want to go back on your stress though,
Sure.
since I'm gonna get a little vulnerable. I feel that way too sometimes. Managing this podcast and also with academics can
I think it's very impressive that you do a podcast. And how often do these like episodes?
like I try to do it every other Wednesday, like because
That's
the idea is Wednesday, like next Wednesday, this episode will be released, as you guys know. But in the midst of that week, like where there's no episode, that's when I'm filming. Then I edit by a certain day, and then
That's impressive. I have to say, like, I have no editing skills whatsoever. So anytime anyone says that they're editing anything, it's impressive to me.
thank you, appreciate that. But I understand when you say you carry this perpetual stress around you. I feel that says yes, we both have passions. I'm
Yeah.
sensing like it's a passion. I love doing this. I love
Of course.
podcasting. I love my makeshift studio I have
know.
here. But
As the classic student, I do have to say that the word passion actually comes from the Latin patior, pati, passus sum, meaning to suffer or endure.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was essential. Thank you. Appreciate it. But even though something can be your passion, it can still be stressful because biblically accurate high school, you have 5 million things to do, and like teachers like college, you're gonna die if you don't have a 94. Okay, so it's just I agree with that stress and just finding like you said with like biking and your trails and ice skating, you find outlets to get through that. And so I know I just yapped a lot and just like basically summarized it.
Yeah, well, that was very efficient. Like, it took me like 15 minutes to say all that, and then you have 5 seconds. You can repeat it all back to me.
No, that's just I feel like when you're having a discussion, that's how it works. Someone says one thing and then someone reiterates the other. But this has been an awesome conversation, and like you're about to find out the reason why our show is called Off Topic.
Oh, I've been told some things about this mystery question that's coming up.
There is a huge mystery question, and the question is,
Oh.
if you ever had a movie, like a bioepic of yourself, and you could have an actor
Oh.
play you. So that's the first half of the question. If you could have an actor play you, who would it be? And if, like, you know how, like, every movie has, like, an opening title or an opening song,
This was gonna be it. Oh, okay.
what would it be?
Oh, boy.
So take your time, since that was a lot.
All right.
The actor, for an actor, I actually
Do not know that many actors. So, let's see. Who's someone I really like? This is probably not very exciting for the off-topicers.
No,
But-
people generally take, like, a minute when it comes in.
I'll answer
The
the
second question.
Okay.
Part B. I'd say I love the song "There Is a Tavern in the Town." Actually, maybe. Wait.
Oh, okay.
Why is this hard? Okay, changing that. My
Okay.
favorite song is actually "The Girl I Left Behind Me." So I would
Okay.
have that play. It has nothing to do, I'm sure, with the rest of the movie, but it's my favorite song, so fitting, I guess.
It is fitting. It's about you, so it has to have your favorite song. I see that.
For the actor, can I just give that power to the directors, or do you want me to answer this? Can I just say, "Oh, directors, whoever you think is best"? Is that the sneaky way out? Yeah, that's a bad answer. But
No, wait.
I
Like I need
can't-
to think about this. I would say,
Oh.
like if it was an older version of you, like in the beginning, if we had this media res situation going on where it's just an older version of you talking about, hey, you may be wondering how I got here. Yeah, perchance Sebastian Stan.
Never heard of him. What's he in?
No, you gotta hold it. You gotta hold it. This is the character he played.
His name is Bucky? No, this
yes,
is
it's
not
Bucky.
Okay.
It's Bucky. That's who Sebastian Stan played.
I'm cultured. I know these things.
That's older you. If it was younger you, Timothy Chalamet, but like we gotta get him in the sun and like maybe bulk him up just a tad bit.
Okay.
And slap some glasses on him. So yeah, those are the two actors I would say would play you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Thank you so much for having me on this podcast.
Thank you, and that was just an episode of Off Topic. We'll see you later in the future.